Hey, Justin, we're about to go live. Who do you want to do a shout out to?
Good. I want to do a shout out to my daughter Amaya. I just want to tell her I love her and I'm excited to see her soon.
Amaya, here we go. Guys, I'm super excited again today because not only do we have an amazing guest, Mr. Justin Lofton, but this is the first time that we are going live on YouTube also. Let me tell you a little bit about Justin. He's an entrepreneur, business owner, community builder, and a guide to people trying to find their way in this chaotic world. Today, we're going to be discussing the transition that humanity is making, and he's an expert on that. We're going to be talking about it right now and how things are getting different for all of us. Justin, welcome to the show.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate
And
it. Feels
there's
like
so many
great to be
things that
here.
you do.
It's been
I've
a
known
while,
you.
huh?
Yeah, we've been doing this for a little bit, and you always bounce in and help me out with finding new cool topics to talk about. So, humanity and how things are changing. Just clue us in. What are you seeing? What are you feeling?
Well, it's a big topic, and I know that each of us are feeling it in different ways right now. But basically, transitioning into the age of Aquarius, out of the dark ages into the heaven on earth ages. But this is a transitionary time from a lot of those old programs and the way that we've lived our lives, and we're moving into a new way of living. And for many, that's very challenging because our egos and our subconscious mind is so used to the labels and the programs that we've operated in, that making this transition into a period that is amazing in terms of how we feel and the types of contributions we can make here on earth now. That transition can be very challenging for folks, while other folks may be experiencing something very blissful and very amazing. And even those people that are experiencing great abundance coming into their life and other great things, they're also dealing with some intensity as we unravel some of this old energy that we still hold on to during this transition.
So a lot of people don't understand where that we are actually transitioning. Where are we now, and then how can people actually understand that we're transitioning to something new?
Yeah, I mean, if you study how the Earth cycles work, and this is all cyclical, you'll know that the Earth runs on a 26,000 year cycle, with 13,000 years of that being in a lower vibrational energy, a more dense energy, and that's what we've been experiencing for a long, long time. And we're coming out of that 13,000 year period into the period of less density, more light, more expression, more abundance. And during this transition, especially at the late part of 2022, it's a critical year for the old systems, the old financial system to break down, the debts to go away, the just the pure, like, everybody has to move back into their heart space. They have to let go of the mind programs that have sort of driven their life, and start to come back into the heart and see that their brothers and sisters, meaning everyone that they see in their experience, is a version of them, and they would obviously treat them as they would want to be treated. That's the energetic that we're headed into. And there's a lot of old energy, not only from this incarnation, but from incarnations before us, that we're transmuting back into love and light, and that's coming through a lot of people. So a lot of times we might even be dealing with emotions and feelings that aren't ours, actually. We're being used because we're here on earth, we're grounded here on earth, we're being used to transmute that energy. And in many cases, the mind wants to reconnect. As you start to feel those emotions come through you, your mind wants to look for a story that it knows to connect that energy to. Oh, a boyfriend broke up with me. This happened in my life. This happened in my life. And it wants to reconnect to that storyline. And that's where a lot of folks, like you mentioned, that aren't aware about this transition, you know, the COVID stuff is a big part of getting humanity to shift and to stop and slow down long enough to reflect on their life. Although it looks like it was something very bad, it actually is something very good for people to slow down and take some time and really reflect on this life that we've built of working and going home and going to sleep and getting up and going and work again, and like really looking at that and seeing if that's what people really want in their life and starting to make a transition. You're seeing a lot of kids no longer going back to traditional schools. They're doing homeschooling. They're doing all types of other types of education programs now. So we're starting to see that density that we used to be operating in loosen up. Even you and I here, we're on the internet. You and I both work off the internet. So a lot of folks don't even go into an office anymore because of the of the COVID situation. So
Absolutely.
a lot of things, there's a lot of things that play out in our experience that look very bad initially, but then you look at the broader perspective, and it's actually something very good for humanity. And that was the case with COVID, with breaking a lot of those programs, forcing people to break the program so that they could reflect on them.
What are the things that people should be are looking for in themselves, and what are the things that you think are coming that people actually can get into? In other words, this is like I'm working my butt off, I'm going to a job, I've got this thing I don't like with this relationship. What is it that you see to give people hope that this new world is going to look better and feel better than it is now?
Yeah, the new earth is coming, whether you decide to be a part of it or not. And being a part of it is all about coming back into your heart space, coming back into that place where your intuition is getting stronger and stronger these days to tell you what to do next. We're not going to have to rely on the mind to come up with all the reasons why anymore. Your intuition, as you move into this heart space, and you're feeling it, you're feeling a call to move away from your old way of thinking more into letting your heart lead the mind, right? Before we used to let the mind lead everything and really kind of drain out the heart space. Now the heart energy, which is the most powerful energy because it is your source self. It is yourself outside of this avatar body that we're playing in here. It is trying to tell you and guide you to the next best step for your best life
I've
yet.
had people on the show talk about the heart and it's having its own brain, so to speak, and actually being more powerful and more energetic than the brain that's in your head that really
Yeah,
leads you to doing the right things and feeling better. What's
yeah,
your
it's the
experience with
compass.
that?
Yeah, it's your compass. It always has been, but a lot of that density that I mentioned earlier has really, and the programming and the TV and all these things have been projected upon humans so that they stay in fear and anxiety, because otherwise you would come into your heart and you would see your neighbor as your brother and you would create community with them. And in a community like we're creating now, you mentioned what people can be doing and what they might be called to do. There's a lot of people that are going to be called to change relationships. A lot of people are going to be called to move to a whole nother area that maybe they've never even, I live here in Nicaragua. I've been here for 2 years, and there's droves of people from all over the world moving to Nicaragua. And they're being called to this beautiful place to create something new, to create communities, to create new ways of schooling their children, new ways to work with others. They want to co-create. Co-creation is really where we're headed, not trying to set up a business so you can extract from people. It's just setting up a business so that you can contribute your unique skills and energy to a collective co-creation energy. That's really where the heart space is. The heart space wants you connected with others and co-creating in projects that fill you with joy, right?
What's the end game then? What is it that once people start working together and you feel the coherence, what is it that we hope to see in the end?
Love, love in every expression. It's because it's going to show you that you are love. That's what this transition is about, is allowing you to have experienced those mind programs and the density that we operated in for so long, and then transition into a completely different energetic, which is that of love, knowing that you are love and that everything that you do actually is an expression of love, even if the emotion at the time doesn't feel like it. Everything that you do is love, and having that blissful feeling playing out in your everyday, that is the end game.
Yeah, it's interesting because we have so many different and varied ways of looking at things in this world right now, and whether it's through various religions and different philosophies, I have found from talking to people on the show that there is so much overlap, but people are stuck in their own way of seeing things.
Mhm.
And is what you're talking about going to be some way of us communicating better and understanding that the way that you see your spirit, your God, whatever, is the same way I see mine and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, what's going to happen next? You're going to have a lot of these old systems are crumbling right now. You're going to see the financial system fall apart, which is going to awaken a lot of folks to the reality of the security of money, or the security or idea of these institutions or governments that supposedly are there to protect you. There's going to be a tremendous amount of disclosure coming. You're already seeing pieces of that now. With there's a lot of in the script of this Earth game. A lot of those things are playing out. The Queen is dead now, and all these stories that are coming to start to warm up humanity to what disclosure is going to come. And that disclosure is going to, like you said, bring them in more alignment with their heart space, so that they can know that no matter what their church said, or what their society said, or what their government told them, they're going to know for themselves. It's moving from a belief, an energetic of belief, and into an energetic of knowing in your heart that love is all that exists, and the everything that I do should be from that place of how can I contribute, how can I see the love in this particular challenge, right? Because there will be a lot of challenges with this disclosure in the minds of people holding on to old beliefs.
Talk about the money for just a little bit because I know that's going to freak a lot of people out when you say that the money system is going to change.
Yeah.
And people, matter of fact, I'm guessing that 100%, maybe 99.9% of the people I know live to make money so they can do whatever they want to do. So when you say that's changing, what are you talking about?
Well, it's multi-layered. So the old system is an extraction parasitic system, right? So at the end of the day, money doesn't create anything. People create everything. They just wrapped a system so that we cut down trees into little pieces of paper, and then we hand them to each other, and have some sort of value placed on these pieces of paper. So
Yep.
it doesn't make any sense. And every debt that's made is made in fraud. So they're using your birth certificate, which is not you. It's a trust account they created to turn you into a labor slave, and that system is collapsing. We're not we can't move into a heaven on earth by using a slavery system with the money. So all the gold has been uh, for eons of time have been stolen from the people, which is the asset that previously backed money. Now we're using debt notes, which is a form of slavery.
Yep.
And fate is just basically your belief in that piece of paper is worth something, and everybody keeps going with that. So if you can back out of the I go to work and I get this paycheck, or I have this business and I make this money, and we use that to buy and exchange energy, because this whole thing is energy, frequency, and vibration. So we're moving into higher vibrations. We're moving into more love and light. We're coming out of the density, which is allowing us, which is beautiful. Like this whole transition, I would just want to preface it with all these disclosure conversations. Like, this is a beautiful transformation. It may be painful for many people that are still trapped in the beliefs of the church, or beliefs in the money, or beliefs in the school systems, or belief that the government actually cares about you at all. Those beliefs are going to be broken if you still hold them. And in that transition, that could hurt for a little bit, but your heart, your energy in your heart is going to be so strong and so powerful. And people will come together around you to support you as you make that mental transition out of the mind and into the heart. But basically, we're going to be moving into a quantum financial system that's based on consciousness. The wealth will be redistributed. The poorest of people will have more money than they could ever imagine. There'll be so much abundance and resource available to humans. But this idea of having this, like, I have these bank accounts and it has this money in there, that's not how the new system works. So basically, you're going to have the shock and awe of, hey, guess what? Today your money is not available anymore. And then you may have a period of days And the period of days is really based on consciousness, right? Until the collective consciousness can unravel in their minds that that system can no longer exist, then the new system can express itself.
Okay, so
So
I love
it's
what you're
hard to get your
saying.
mind around it, but it's a consciousness process is what it's going,
Yeah,
how it's going to play out.
I love what you're saying, and I've said for a long time, it's like this piece of paper is not worth anything, but everyone right now uses that piece of paper to pay their rent, to buy their food, to go to the movies, to do everything. What is the new, I'll use the word utopia or the new way of looking at things so that people are now not relying on money? It's a mindset change, it's a whole system change.
Hmm.
What is that new system and what should people be doing to prepare for it?
Yeah, I would say that, staying in the realm of understanding of how this could actually work is basically think of it as moving back to a gold back standard currency. What that currency is called, I don't know just yet, but all the gold has been recaptured and does belong to the people. So in the transition of moving away from money altogether, and that's going to take some period of time because your mind still believes so deeply that you need that to get things done. But imagine a world where everyone has so much resource that going to work, you would only go to work because it fills your heart with joy, because the activity that that the contribution that you're making on the daily is so important to you and your heart and what you want to accomplish here on earth and your experience, that you would go. You wouldn't need to go for any resource to put a roof on your head, to have everything you need for you and your family. That's the amount of abundance. You can't imagine how big some of the bank accounts are in this fiat fake system, how ridiculously you know offset it is between the few that hold all the assets and the money, and the many that don't have anything.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous, and that is going to be leveled off in a blink of an eye.
What, um, if you were to tell people any one thing right now that they could do so they could start looking at and seeing this new system come into place, what would that one thing be? Just something that people can take away from this 20 minutes of talking. It's like, you know what? I love what Justin was saying. I want to start doing that one little thing. What is it?
Yeah, the one little thing is listening to your heart to say, what can I do with maybe some of these fake fiat dollars I know that aren't going to be worth anything in the coming days? Like, how can I put that energy to work for me right now? Is it growing a garden? Is it, and then this isn't like some sort of doom and gloom, like survivalist, buy 1,000 cans of corn. No, it's like, no, what can I start doing that I've been wanting to do and I just haven't done it yet. And I could put some of that money resource towards that because it's something I've been wanting to do, and I know that I could grow food, or I could, um, I could build a house, or I could get some solar panels, or I could do something that really moves towards that energetic of not being attached to an old system, or creating something new that I've been called to do in my heart. You know?
I'm
and
listening
it's
to
and it's
you.
okay. It's okay. Like letting yourself say it's okay to spend money on myself or my family now, because I know that I'm putting that energy towards something that serves me. I think a lot of people have hesitated for so long to actually do something for themselves.
I do know because I feel like I'm one of those people. I mentioned to you just before we went live that I think the thing I want to do, and I hope my team wants to do, is get this show out to get people to wake up just a little bit and
Yeah.
just start to live your life for yourself rather than feeling like you have to go to work so you can go back to work the next day.
Hmm.
That
That's
sort
it.
of thing. Um, Justin, I could keep talking to you forever, but then we'd be doing like a 2 hour thing and a three, and then I'd just have to buy a course or something like that. So, um, thank you for being here. Like, I always appreciate you being here. Uh,
I appreciate your work, brother, helping bring these messages to the surface, which is important right now because a lot of people need support,
yeah,
and just hearing some of the words about what's playing out can be there to support them on
you
that.
know, I want people to be able to get in touch with you, and I know you've got We talked at the beginning about your entrepreneur business person. You do your own water company. You've got all kinds of things going on. And I think 8020business.com, is that the best way for people to get in touch with you?
That's a good place to start. Yeah, for sure. They
Okay.
can reach out to me there.
We will definitely have people get in touch with you there. And I am more than happy to always talk with you about all these things. So thank you
Thank
very,
you,
very
brother.
much.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.